We are back. Panel is here. Anna Palmer, co-founder of Punchbowl News. Peter Baker, chief White House correspondent for the New York Times. He's also author of the book The Divider. Brendan Buck, former advisor to speakers Paul Ryan and John Boehner. And Kimberly Atkins, Stohr, senior opinion writer for the Boston Globe. Peter, you wrote about the special counsel and sort of almost the darned if you do, darned if you don't moment that Merrick Garland was in. You know, and you saw it with Mike Pence in my interview. There's a lot of Republicans that want to let Trump sort of dangle out there, but they're also not ready to jump on pushing him off either.
Right. No, that's exactly right. Look, you're right. Garland had no choice, probably under the rules as they are established. He felt that it was an obvious case for a special counsel. But the idea of a special counsel is to make it seem like politics is not involved. And of course that was never going to work. Of course, Trump was never going to let that be a nonpartisan figure. He immediately attacks the special counsel as a political partisan witch hunter, the latest in a long string in his view. And therefore, we're right back where we started, which is that the investigation is seen through the lens of partisan politics.
You know, Anna, it was one of those, I guess if Garland could have done this differently, had it been a special counsel from the beginning.
Right. Was the delay kind of an opening for Republicans in a lot of ways? It wasn't just Trump. We've seen a lot of Republicans in the Senate and the House saying, all right, now it's time to impeach Merrick Garland. Now, you know, there should be a special counsel for Hunter Biden. I'm just saying these are the partisan attacks that you're going to hear over and over again for the next several months.
They're going to do everything they can to undermine this process. And I will tell you, when
Who's they, though?
House Republicans.
Okay.
Newly in the majority, newly with committee hearings that they can call.
Is that a good focus?
It's absolutely not, but I will tell you, when I was on the Hill working for Speaker Ryan, we spent an incredible amount of time behind the scenes trying to get our members not to undermine the Mueller investigation. They wanted to do things. They wanted to try to meddle in that. And we had to say hard no, like we can't do this. This is important. I don't know that the current House of Representatives is set up to be that disciplined.
And I know that the DOJ and Merrick Garland wants to keep things unpolitical, but I think that's one of the things that he should have thought about in making the decision either to do it from the beginning. I think that he didn't need one at all. The regulations don't mandate this. He could have continued this investigation, and it should have gone a little faster.
Doesn't it feel like he is a character from the pre-Trump era?
Yes.
And that's sort of like what Garland's, you know, whatever you think, he's just sort of, isn't this the way we're supposed to do it? And you're like, not the way in the Trump world. Yeah.
Right, a new era. But there is one thing that might be indicated here. The Merrick Garland has made a threshold decision, perhaps, that it is okay to charge a former president or a presidential candidate if the elements of the law are met, because otherwise you wouldn't have bothered to appoint a special counsel. That's a pretty big step if, in fact, that's what's going through his mind right now.
All right, the other big event this weekend was this Republican Jewish Coalition event. You know, and it was interesting. Donald Trump, he ended up satelliting it in because I think he realized Ron DeSantis was stealing the show and no matter what. But he gave this rambling answer about the midterms, correctly noting the impact of abortion, but he never said the word. Meanwhile, Mike Pence is here telling me it's the greatest achievement of the administration.
I mean, one of the biggest divides, right? You have Donald Trump, who was pro-choice. I mean, Mike Pence, ever since I've covered politics, this is very core to who he is. Yeah. Clearly not afraid that the American public might not be in the same place that Mike Pence is. But that's one of the few distinguishing factors, right? When you look at the two of them, Mike Pence kind of twisting himself into a pretzel in this whole interview where he didn't really want to say that the former president was wrong, that what happened on January 6th was wrong.
Brendan, he wants to run in the Trump administration more than Trump does.
Mike Pence is running what seems to be leading up to a campaign that would make a lot of sense if Donald Trump wasn't still around. He's the natural next in line, all the great things that we did. I'm separating myself from him a little bit. But he refuses to actually take on Donald Trump. And the reality is, as we know, he's running for president. Donald Trump is going to be a candidate.
He's going to take him on.
Exactly.
Trump will take Pence on.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we have a situation where, once again, you have Republicans sort of just hoping that he goes away and unwilling to attack him. Donald Trump is going to attack Mike Pence. He's going to attack Ron DeSantis. And to think that you can just sit there and wait for him to implode, I think, is a little naive.
But is there a little bit of Trump fatigue? I feel like I'm sensing it in the rank and file.
I think there's more than a little bit. The midterms were evidence of that, but it's not fatigue among the people, like including Mike Pence, who stood right next to.
Well, because they're afraid of Trump's base.
But it's an opportunity to say this is waning and we're going to break free and we're going to take a different path. But instead, Mike Pence tried to excuse Trump for everything other than trying to stop the certification of the election. It was It was Fauci's fault it was Mark Meadows' fault that he talked about disinfectant. Right. It was someone else's fault. It was lawyers' fault that he.
But where Mike Pence is very different. Where I think where you're seeing a lot of the Republican Party saying that was, a 3-time loser. You have remember
Pence doesn't want to go there.
Not at all.
No.
I mean, it's pretty stunning compared to where the rest of the Republicans are.
Well, he's self-aware in that who else was going to make him vice president? Ultimately, that's the issue he has. All right, guys, I have to go. Enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend. You guys are terrific. There's an unedited version of my Mike Pence interview, including approximately 30 minutes that we weren't able to air here at meetthepress.com. Please take a look at it. That's all we have for the day. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday. We're back next week. We don't bring leftovers. We'll be bringing real Meet the Press, because if it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.